This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, joined by promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, a successful night once again, start from the top. A brilliant fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders. What did you make of theirs?
I thought it was a really good fight. I mean, I thought Billy actually started slow, but got into the fight. I expected him to start fast, and you know, I think that Canelo he showed his power early in the fight, but then Billy started to get a little bit comfortable, and then of course in the 8th round or whatever it was, Canelo had a good round. Was it the 9th round? Did the 9th round happen?
No.
Excuse me. No, right. Okay, sorry. So it was okay. So the 7th round was a good round for Canelo, and then he started to wear him down. And then the 8th round, obviously, it was an unbelievable uppercut, and you could see straight away as soon as Billy got up, I said he's broken his eye socket. You could just see he was actually caved in. And I think he went back to the corner and said to Mark Tibbs that he just can't see. And I think they talked about having another round, and Billy just said, I can't see. And Mark pulled him out. So I think with an injury like that and a fighter as good as Canelo Alvarez, it was going to be a bad 9th round. So they saved their man. Billy's gone straight to hospital. And an unbelievable win from Canelo Alvarez against a very good fight. You know, and I think Billy deserves credit because he came to win the fight. You know, he didn't just run. He stayed in the pocket at times, mixed it up, boxed well. You know, I gave him probably 3 rounds in the fight. You know, one more round and but Canelo was just too good, coming too strong. And, you know, he's a beast.
Up until, obviously, the 9th round not happening, Eddie, how did you actually see the fight? How was you scoring it?
Probably, 7 rounds? 5? 8 rounds completed.
8 rounds completed.
Okay, 6-2, 5-3, something like that to Canelo. I think give Billy Joe 5 rounds. The first round was, if I remember rightly, nip and tuck. The 2nd round was for Canelo, 3rd round was for Canelo, 4th round was for Billy. Billy had 2 good rounds in the middle. I mean, look, maybe some of the other close rounds. I think the judges were very harsh giving him 1 round. I think 2 judges gave him 1 round, or 1 judge gave him a round. I don't know. 1 gave him 3, 1 gave him 2. So, yeah, I didn't think he was winning the fight, but I thought he was in it. I thought he was competitive, but he just couldn't put a dent in him, could he? That was the problem. The work was nice and the movement was fantastic, and he was making him miss. But how do you put a dent in Canelo? And to box like that for 12 rounds and somehow stay away from the power and the danger of Canelo, it's difficult. And you know, if he would have kept the momentum, maybe he could have won a couple of the last rounds and made it close. But it's the power. You know, and I thought Billy Joe boxed a good fight, and I think he's a world-class fighter, and I believe he can come again. You know, I have to see how bad the injury is, but he's just so good. He's so good, and that's not me being a fanboy. He's brilliant.
When does work start for the Caleb Plant fight, Eddie?
Straight away, really. I mean, the numbers tonight were. I mean, you see it obviously in the arena, on the zone. The numbers were absolutely through the roof. He's huge. So obviously, the zone are going to make a big play for that fight now with Caleb Plant. Fox are going to make a big play for that fight. I'll go out and negotiate that fight for him, and that's the one to make for September. Obviously, the undisputed championship.
Just want to work through the undercard as well. Frank Sanchez with a victory in unusual circumstances.
I couldn't believe it. Do you know what's mad about that is that Aguilera actually took some hammer, and he took a few big shots and came back, and I thought, do you know what, he's doing well here? And then he basically just took a dive. I mean, did you see when he got up and I mean, I don't know what he was moaning about his arm for. Maybe he hurt his arm when he dived on the floor. But, you know, good performance from Frank Sanchez. Kieran Conway, Sissoko, good fight. Just think Kieran started too late, but Sissoko boxed really well. It's one of the worst scorecards I've ever seen. I mean, if you can say the fight was close, I had Sissoko winning by a couple of rounds, but to give that fight to Kieran Conway by 5 rounds, it was unbelievable. And I think Kieran will kick himself a little bit because he started a bit late in the fight, put him down in the 9th, and just couldn't get him out of there. 12-round fight would have been interesting. Listen, no excuses. Kieran Conway was very late coming out here, getting his visa, but as he said, no excuses. Sissoko boxed a great fight, and you know he's going to be a solid addition to the 154-pound category. Soto Katayama, I thought it was a Takayama rather. I thought it was a brilliant fight. I love watching these young small fellas that go at it. I thought the stoppage was, I thought it was a bit weird, but I spoke to people and they said, but he was losing the fight, he was getting bashed up, you know. And some really good fights on before the bell. Kelvin Davis, really lucky to survive actually. Keyshawn boxed really well. Mark Castro was a little bit rugged, but you know. And Christian Duran boxed really well. So unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, have you been part of an atmosphere better than that?
I can't remember one.
Was you at Joshua Klitschko?
I was indeed.
That was, I mean, I don't know, maybe in the night with the roof open and the arch, probably, and obviously being a Brit, but that was pretty special tonight, wasn't it? 73,000, just smashed the record, and on we go. Manchester next week.
I want to touch on a few other things. Start off with Manchester. Harper Choi no longer happening. What's going to happen with the card now?
Boatsy headlines. We've got 3 European Championship fights as well. We've also got Dalton Smith against Lee Appleyard for the English. So we got loads of action on the card. Obviously Terry, gutted for Terry Harper, gutted for Choi as well. She was actually on her way to the airport. So you know that's boxing, and then finished there. And then we got a week off, and then we got Haney Linares at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and then we move on to just some unbelievable plans for the summer.
Michael Hunter, I've seen that he might be pulling out of his final eliminator. So
Not might, pulled out of the fight. I don't. What a waste of time for Hrgovic. You know, the guy accepts the position. We negotiate the fight. We go to purse bid. I win the purse bid. Good purse bid, solid money. And then he says, yeah, the bounty hunter's coming. Hrgovic, you're going to get it. Blah blah blah. And then send the contracts, and they just write in and go, no, we're actually not taking the fight. What is he doing? He hasn't got any offers coming in. If he won that fight, he's mandatory for the world title. Absolutely bizarre, and I feel for Hrgovic because he's been messed around as well. So we go back down the list and see who it is.
AJ Fury, you said in the ring, keep your eyes peeled for that. Can you let us in on that, Eddie?
Well, what are you earwigging for? No, we thought about making some noise tonight, but I think because of the various broadcasters, I don't think it would have gone down very well. So you'll, I will say, right, this week. But I will tell you, it's 100% being announced this week.
This is 100% done.
Yes, I've said that a few times, but I'm going one better than that. By our Manchester show. Oh fucking hell! Put myself.
You've committed to now, Eddie.
I think I'm safe to say that. Yeah. We had a good meeting with the governing bodies where we confirmed our position to them for the fight. So I'm not going to say too much, but yeah.
Part of the Manchester show. Eddie, appreciate your time this week. Thank you for your time. Thanks for Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate.